Actually, my first video is when I got really aggravated. I got off of a phone call with a broker back then. This guy was persisting and arguing with me that the future is in telemarketing. I got really pissed off. So I pulled out like a whiteboard, little tiny one. I said, here's how we're going to fail in this industry. It was a really negative video, right? And a lot of people were like, whoa, and I started getting emails. No one called out this industry like this. And I posted out there, and even to this day, they still see that and say, that was a good job, man. And the first year, only like 20 people watched it. I'm like, that's pathetic.
No one was there to witness your anger.
No.
Like, you wanted the whole world to see
I even thought about deleting it. I'm like, I'm not angry anymore. Should I just delete it?
Hello everybody, my name is Sean Murray and welcome to DBank TV. I have a special guest today, Oz Konar from Business Lending Blueprint. Thanks for being here, Oz.
Yeah, great to be here. Thanks, Sean.
No problem. So, Business Lending Blueprint. For those that don't know who you are, what can you tell me about your company?
Business Lending Blueprint was created back in 2018 as a result of demand, honestly. So I've been in the lending industry for over a decade. This is almost like a very secretive industry, right? People know that it exists, but not many people know how to get into it, how to make money. I own a marketing agency, so we got exposed to a lot of people who want to purchase leads and build this business through that method. They wanted to get some kind of training, which we didn't have any. And I wanted to find a place to refer people out to, like a training organization. Finally, in 2018, we did an email blast announcing the launch of, back then, what was Merchant Cash Advanced Success Blueprint. So that brought in a lot of interest to the company. And ever since then, I believe in having enhancements to each program. So this is like the V3 of the program. It's now called Business Lending Blueprint, that provides people with all the resources they need so they can become an independent business loan broker in the alternative lending industry, which has been growing massively in the past couple of years, as you know.
So you're training brokers for this particular industry.
Correct. But what we're doing differently is there are a lot of training companies, they're training brokers for themselves, for their own benefit. So either as employees or affiliates, or it could be like a multi-level marketing structure. Where we differ is we're training them to be independent brokers. So they know who the lenders are. They can build a business without needing any middleman. They actually learn how to generate leads. And that separated us so much that people are referring to us as a platform where they can independently ask questions and get unbiased opinion about things and how things work. And that led to hundreds of people building successful businesses through the platform.
You train people to do this, but how many people have actually come to you and signed up for this?
I don't know the exact number, but we have over 3,000 brokers right now in our platform. Yeah.
3,000?
Yeah. We're the largest training organization in the country, both in the United States and Canada, for alternative lending brokers.
So there's a good shot out there, if you're working with a broker, that they've at some point went to your school.
Yeah, either they're employees, they're managers, or they built their own organization, they're employing other people right now. There's a very good chance that they've either seen our program or have been through it.
So you said you were in marketing beforehand, but like how did you yourself come upon small business finance, MCA, business lending? How did you get into this industry?
Well, I did it. I used to be a broker in New York City. So I used to have a corporate job for over a decade, and I used to sell door-to-door, like credit card processing, payroll. Then one day I came across a lender, and I had this portfolio of businesses that I've sold credit card processing to. And he introduced me to the concept of Merchant Cash Advance, which I had no idea what it was. I said, wait a minute, so this is like the sexiest product on earth. I can sell money and make money with that, right? He's like, yeah, basically, pretty much. So I called a bunch of businesses that I knew, restaurant owners. We funded one of them, and I received my first $4,000 check, which is what I used to make in a month. So that was like a epiphany for me. I'm like, whoa, can I just repeat this process? One thing I noticed in the industry is that everyone was doing the same thing, right? Either you're out there hunting businesses, or you're sitting in the office dialing 300 to 500 people to book appointments. That was the only form of marketing. And since I was really interested in technology and marketing, they're all adapting this Wolf of Wall Street mentality, either you buy or you die. I didn't like that. And that's why I started like a marketing company for teaching people how to do paid advertising and organic lead generation. And that kind of transitioned me into a marketing role than just a broker, which I started out with.
When you say you train, you teach, how are you doing? Is there like a classroom? Like what happens?
Yeah, so for them to understand how to sign up, they have to kind of jump through hoops, because we only want people who are serious about building a business. Because this is not like a get-rich-quick scheme. We require them to watch like a 70-minute video that informs them how it works, why people fail, why people succeed, and how they need to follow a proven pattern, a system. So it's not a free training. They pay to get in. and they become a part of this exclusive community of 3,000 brokers. Even if they know nothing about it, at the end of that, they come out as an expert understanding the industry and how to proceed to fund deals.
What could people expect to make, like if they follow your program and your
Right.
plans and your training?
Just like any business, you get out what you put in, right? So I don't like the mentality of people focusing on the ceiling. Can I become a millionaire? Yeah, you can become a millionaire doing anything pretty much. So that's not the real question. The question is, what are you trying to accomplish? That could be making 10 grand because you have a job right now that's paying you 5K and you're barely paying bills. So you need to replace that income first so you get rid of that draining job, right? So I want to make it super realistic. Like I asked them, we call it BAMOS. BAM is the first part of determining the goal setting part. Bare ask minimum. Like what is minimum you need per month to cover your expenses and keep a roof over your head and food on the table? It's surprising many people do not know that. They're like, oh, probably like 5 to 7K, probably. Like how much do you need per month?
Yeah.
Once we do that, our first goal is, all right, so what do you need to do to reach that level? Then we can talk about making 10K, 20K, then the 7 figures, because you're not going to jump from 0 to 7 figures in 2 months. It just doesn't work that way.
Do they need to be self-motivated people, or are you going to wake them up every day and motivate them?
If you're going to need motivation to change your situation, probably your why is not strong enough. That's why we focus a lot on helping people determine what's your why. We usually look for things like, listen, I'm getting older. I can't do this job. I have no retirement. I'm a single mom with 3 kids. I don't like this neighborhood. I got to move out, but I can't really do it. I have to commute. If someone needs like bare motivation to even start a business, something is not connecting. That's not how you start a business.
Do any of these people intend to eventually like open up their own company and hire people, or is this like a work from home type crowd?
It is 60-40. 60% of the people, they want to work from home. 40% when they join us, they already know that they want to build a broker shop. But those numbers are skewed because people change over time. I have many people who join, they want to work from home. As they make more money, their goals shift. Now they want to become a broker, they want to hire people, they want to be the boss. We had someone who's from the real estate industry, for example, within 6 months, he moved out and he now has like 17 employees in office.
Okay.
That's what he wanted to accomplish, but that's their business at the end of the day. We're not managing them.
So you have people working for you?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a full team of people. It's always better to give people freedom to work from wherever they want. It kind of opens up the talent pool too. Pandemic kind of gave us the excuse to be remote 100%. So now I work from home and every one of my team members work from home too.
Do these brokers that you're helping, do they suffer from any type of difficulty in working from the funders and the lenders because they're working independently? What's the transition?
Great question. So every lender that we recommend, they know who we are. So they know how particular we are about which lenders we allow in our platform. So you can't pay your way into being a recommended lender in the blueprint. You need to be running an ethical organization, you need to be funding volume, you need to be in business for a certain amount of time. And we usually tell them, do not try to send an application and sign up with them unless you have deals going on. It's not lenders' job to train you. Hopefully you're trained enough to know how to do that. They're in business to make money off of their money, right? But we want to give them a good baseline of lenders on different products. So they all get an assigned representative from that specific lender. So they're not just calling the 1-800 number.
Okay, so these lenders, these funders, they know it's essentially coming from your group.
From our network, yeah. And they know that they don't need to split anything with us. And they know that, we're not going to be like, hey, if you don't pay us, we're going to kick you out type of thing. I've kicked out lenders before for different reasons. Backdooring. They lied and eventually, like every lie, it resurfaces and you figure out the truth. That's why I think it's important for us to keep the relationship that way for our brokers too, so that way they can have confidence in our ability to recommend somebody and that person being legitimate.
I can just tell you from my experience is that there are too many people that do what you just said before, that they Google, random lender, they don't have any relationship with them. They're at pretty high risk of possibly not getting paid.
Sure.
Because who are they?
Right. You're just looking to be taken advantage of.
Yeah.
And these lenders, obviously, not all of them are bad. They kind of know that you don't know what you're talking about. And they say, sure, we'll fund that deal for you. We'll let you know when it's funded.
Yeah.
And you pass it off to them. And meanwhile, you call 10 other lenders. And it's a horrible way to build a relationship anyways. But at the end, you get taken advantage of and you're mad. And now this puts a label to the entire industry.
Are they only in the U.S. or do you have any like outside of the country too?
Mostly U.S. and also about 30% are from Canada.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we have about 100 people or so in different countries. As long as they can manage to open a business account in the United States, they can target businesses in the U.S. and fund it. And again, we tell them, listen, we're not lawyers, we're not accountants. So you got to figure out how it works for you to open a business account here. Once you do it, you're free to join our program and take advantage of the network that we have.
I get that you have people who are located in Canada. Is there any funding happening in Canada too, or are you kind of staying out of the Canadian market?
No, we're not. We have actual lenders from Canada. Again, we're not just focusing on merchant cash advance. We're focusing on invoice factoring. Canadians are actually more fortunate than people in the U.S. They can build their business in Canada, but they can also build it in the United States. So they have this, double option. A lot of our Canadian brokers are also getting clients in the United States and also in Canada.
What about COVID? I imagine that this type of business probably did really well during COVID. I know just from firsthand, I was telling you before off camera, there was a lot of activity in like social media groups where people were getting together. How did it impact your business? Did it grow? Did you see more people wanting to work from home and become a business loan broker?
It was totally unpredictable, obviously, when it first started, because I haven't been through a pandemic in my lifetime, and we didn't know how that would affect anything and everything. But I've been saying for years that what you think is safe might not be so safe, which is your job. That realization led a lot of people coming back to us. They looked into us before, they're like, I'm fine. They've seen that potential of, being good is not really enough, so I got to do something to be prepared. Certain other industries, they just died off, like totally stopped, right? So when you do that comparison, where would you want to be? And this industry survived 2008 recession and came out with flying colors. It's not so much, do I want to become a business loan broker? It's just, oh crap, what do I do with my life now?
How did they find Oz during the pandemic, right? How did they end up in your world?
It's quite magical, actually. So
it's magical?
Sometimes they're surprised how they find us. Some of them through your network, they hear of us. Our ads have been seen by more than 4 million people in the United States alone. So it's primarily YouTube ads, and YouTube ads, really, we don't have any pushy style. It's like, hey, check out my content. You might enjoy it. Usually people, before they join Blueprint, they spend about 2 weeks checking out different content and watching the webinar, or jumping on a call with us, because we truly want to make sure that this is the right fit for them.
What about Facebook? Because oftentimes when we talk about social media marketing, for whatever reason, this industry tends to be different than a lot of others.
Yes, interesting.
And I don't know why. Other businesses like real estate and so forth, they have YouTube celebrities, YouTube stars, TikTok and all this stuff. Is there any value for, let's say, like a broker or a lender to use YouTube as part of their marketing?
One thing about YouTube that's different than other social media is that the half-life of content is really, really long. So I created content in 2017. People still find me through that and become a part of our YouTube channel and watch other stuff. Look at TikTok, right? So your preparation probably takes like 2 hours to shoot that video, and it just gets old in 30 minutes. Same thing with Instagram. Even if you're not doing a story, the post, people see it algorithmically, and then it kind of, unless they come back and look at your profile, it's not there. So if you compare all of that against YouTube, YouTube is the winner and will be the winner for the next 5-6 years. People search on Google, but they don't want to read a 5,000 word blog on it. They switch to YouTube to watch content.
Wait, you're saying people want to watch videos?
Yeah, like what a concept, right? Especially if they kind of sit down and shoot 10 videos and put it out there. I can guarantee that over long term it'll be beneficial. You can't do that in any other platform.
Yeah.
Actually, my first video is when I got really aggravated. I got off of a phone call with a broker back then. We're doing marketing services. This guy was persisting and arguing with me that the future is in telemarketing. And this was like the 10th conversation I had that week. I got really pissed off. So I pulled out like a whiteboard, little tiny one. I said, here's how we're gonna fail in this industry. It was a really negative video, right? And a lot of people were like, whoa, and I started getting emails. No one called out this industry like this. And I posted out there, and even to this day, they still see that and say, that was a good job, man. And the first year, only like 20 people watched it. I'm like, that's pathetic.
No one was there to witness your anger.
No.
Like, you wanted the whole world to see
I even thought about deleting it. I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm not angry anymore. Should I just delete it? That's what I mean. This is like the biggest evidence of content on YouTube never dies.
All right. So you mentioned a few things in there. You mentioned telemarketing,
Right.
direct mail.
Yes.
What is your opinion on them? Do you think they work? Do you think that they're the future?
Right. If they were, they would not have been replaced with something else, right? The market works that way. I'm not against telemarketing as long as the owner, and I'm talking to the brokers, is not doing that. So what happens a lot of time is owner want to set the example. Listen, I can dial 400 people and make 2 appointments. Well, how do you double that business? Are you going to dial 800 people a day?
Yeah.
You're going to hire more people. Then your entire marketing walks out at 5 p.m. So as long as it's a part of a bigger strategy, I'm okay with that. But it is so inefficient. For example, generating leads on Facebook for alternative lending is less than $1. So then instead of having 45 people dial, you can get the same results with like 4 or 5 people. Okay. Same thing with the direct mail. I used to run a direct mail company. Direct mail is not dead. It still works, but the strategies have changed. Right now, you need 3-4 consecutive direct mails of same type to remind yourself, because the attention span of people, they came down. You have to match the right marketing method to the right audience.
You mentioned the dream, right?
Right.
It's inbound marketing. How do you get those people to find you and call you? You mentioned something about Facebook, a Facebook
Right.
form. Is that part of your course? Or
It is. So you need to develop certain skills for that to happen. You're not going to wake up tomorrow and people are going to go crazy over you. So you need to learn how to generate demand or channel demand. You can do it through Instagram, through LinkedIn. There's so many strategies that we train our members on. But if you want the volume, if you want to add fuel to the fire, that's paid advertising.
Okay.
Because you can literally pay to purchase leads. We get a lot of calls, just, I don't want the program, can you just sell me leads? No, because you don't know what you're talking about. So if I give you leads, you're not going to do much about it, right? Oh, I'm a closer, I close everyone. Well, that's the problem right there. You shouldn't be closing everyone. That's the first thing. So if you're into buying leads and if you have somewhat of a budget, it's way better to generate your own leads that you own than purchasing a lead list that's been sold 5,000 times to other people, right?
What type of things do brokers get stuck on that they feel like they need to learn more from you or take a course? Like, you know, what areas do they get stuck?
We focus on what they need to stop doing first instead of giving them more things to do. We have a lot of existing brokers that used to do 15, 20K a month, and they think it's great. Well, yeah, it is great, actually. It's not that bad, but the potential could be 30 to 40,000 and 50,000 because of that mindset shift. Like, I look at their business model, I'm like, how do you keep track of your leads? Well, some of them are still doing it on paper. I'm like, yep, that's not gonna work out. Like, make everything efficient, even if you're improving your process 1%.
There's still people using paper?
100%. Because it works. They think it works and it gets to their end goal, 15, 20K. But if you want to jump to that next level, you need efficiency in your system. So what we focus on is looking at what they do to generate leads. For example, one broker, they were doing telemarketing and LinkedIn. And he was not tracking the proportion of the leads, where it comes from. We found out that 60% of the funded deals were coming from LinkedIn. And I asked them to stop telemarketing, do more LinkedIn, and add something else, which is Facebook advertising.
Yeah.
Right now, that same broker is doing 45K per month, not doing telemarketing for the past 2.5 years. I tell my students all the time, don't think of yourself as just a business loan broker. Think of yourself as a consultant. You're out there to help people. Second, think of yourself as a marketer. If you're a marketer, you'll never run low on leads. You'll get creative, you'll do something to generate leads.
You know, every time you use the word students, I'm tempted to think that your name is actually Dr. Oz and not Oz. Has anyone ever said that to you before?
A lot.
They have?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you have all these brokers that you train. Do you ever get together with them in person, or is this purely Zoom and email and stuff?
We've done 3 events in the past in like a little mastermind format for like 10 to 15 people. We were going to do one big one that we got hit with the pandemic. Our community is interesting. They have their own local meetings before the pandemic, which was not organized by me. They just decided to do it on their own. Some of them run their own weekly calls for other brokers. They have accountability partners, like they match up with each other to practice certain things and answer questions. I want to get to know them. Like they know me, but I don't know who they are a lot of times. So we have something in the pipeline, but let's see if we can pull it off.
Is there anything that, I'm going to give you the opportunity, is there anything that you would like to plug about Business Lending Blueprint?
One thing I'm a big advocate of, just don't buy into the hype. You might see a video of mine saying that this guy made $40,000. Just listen to the video. Just watch it to see how it worked out. Because the last thing you want to do is buy into something you don't really understand what's going to happen. Because then we can't really lead you when you come in like that. So it's not a plug, but it's just whatever you decide to do, know that you can jump from good to great, but do your due diligence and check out the content.
Okay. Well, Oz, appreciate it. Thank you for coming into the office today and making the time and effort.
Thanks for the invitation. This was a lot of fun. I appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, I appreciate your time here. So everyone, thank you so much again. Oz Konar, Business Lending Blueprint, and I'm Sean Murray from DBank TV. Thank you for joining and tuning in, and we will see you next time.